Alright, let me tell y'all about my little junkyard mow cart. It's all built from scrap and things I picked up over the years. As you can see, I pick up a lot of junk mowers that people throw away. Some I bought. I believe that John Deere, I paid $100 for it. It's got a 20 V-twin that runs. Heavy duty transmission. Anyway, this mower is picked up for scrap. I picked up a Kawasaki KFX 90. I believe a 2008. It had a locked up engine and no fenders. So I wound up using that frame and I stretched it to fit under a mower body. The gray part is how much I stretched it. About a foot, I think a 12-inch stretch, 11 or 12-inch stretch. So it has a Kawasaki live axle in the rear. Kawasaki suspension in the front. Front's a little stiff. And as of right now, it's light on the front end. If I just stomp it on takeoff, the front tires will come up 6 to 8 inches off the ground or ride a wheelie. I have it geared really low. I have a 212 I had laying around. It's new, but it's 2 years old, if that makes any sense. I bought it on a log splitter, used it a few times, and pulled the engine off. And put a diesel engine on it. It's a China Tab 2 30 series converter. I've got that running. It's a 2-to-1 reduction. This is a Polaris Trail Boss 250 to 350 transmission, the 2-wheel drive version. And what this is a forward neutral reverse gearbox. And being it's chain drive, I can adjust my ratio any way I like. Right now, with the 2-to-1 setup on it, I get 22 miles per hour. And the engine's all stock. All this back out the throttle stop screw. What I don't like about backing out the throttle stop screw, I'm under geared, so my torque converter is not working hard enough. I ain't got enough load on it, so my belt rides up above the bell of the driven clutch, which is going to lead to premature wear of the belt. So to solve this, I need to put more load on it, which means drop down from this 2-to-1 to maybe a 1.5-to-1. I could go 1-to-1. That'll get me over 40 miles an hour, but I'll lose power. I like the power it has now, so maybe I'll drop down to like a 1.8 or a 1.5-to-1. Not looking for more speed. 22 is plenty in the woods. I mean, it's plenty enough to kill you. I just threw the seat on. It's what I had. The cushion's good, but it's unglued from the seat, and the seat is high. I need to lower the seat another 3 or 4 inches. I wish I would have planned ahead and shortened the steering column, which I may do that. Yeah, I may do that. Now back to this Polaris gearbox. It runs a 520 chain, I believe. The Kawasaki KFX rear sprocket runs a 420, and they don't make a 520 sprocket for this little axle, so I wind up finding another sprocket. I actually got a number 50 sprocket. I bored it, centered it, and I welded it to the original Kawasaki hub. I was gonna try to drill through it, but that sprocket's so hard. I ate up 7 drill bits trying, and I only made 1/8 of an inch, so I just welded it. I've yet to put the rear brakes on, but I do have a brand new rear brake system. And the front brakes do work. I haven't made the pedal. I started cutting out where the pedal is going to be. I made the bracket for it. I've got everything to hook into the front brakes. I'm thinking put the front brakes on the pedal and put the rear brakes on a lever. Like you know, I can throw golf cart tires in here if I want to throw into a drift. I can pull just the rear brake to slide around and get on it. The front throttle's crude. I just rigged it up. As you can see, it does hit my throttle stop. The stop screw is backed out all the way. If I back out anymore, the throttle doesn't go any more than that anyway. Still running through the stock governor. There's no need for me to get more RPM out of the engine because my torque converter already doesn't have enough load on it. But I'm happy with it. I wanted to ride. So instead of making proper link rods, I bought these ball joints months ago on Amazon. I just put it together so I can ride. Steering does work. I'm going to make some proper rods, but more importantly, now that I know where everything sits, I need to come up and put some tubes in here for a frame and tie in the frame to the front of this ATV frame, because I'm getting a lot of flex right here. I did have to dent the gas tank to clear, there's no room in this. The original mower axle was right here, so I put this front end 6 inches past the mower axle to give me more clearance for this engine. Now I could have pulled the fuel tank off and relocated somewhere else, maybe drop my steering down to right above the muffler and air cleaner. I may better put the tank right here, but I decided to give me more room. As you can see, it's tight in there, and my exhaust right now, I plan on taking the muffler off, run a pipe, and run the exhaust underneath the gearbox, and coming out right here in the center. But I still got more work to do. I've got to extend this rear, got to cut this plate off, extend it 2 inches to make room for my brake caliper. I've done the cutout when the suspension compresses, the rotor comes through here. That was temporary just for me to ride right now. The suspension's pretty good. Right now, as you can see, my frame, when I hit hard bumps with the weight in me, my frame bottoms out on the axle before the shock bottoms out. So I need to trim the channel, like some C's, to go over the frame. But yeah, she's doing real good. I'm gonna try to ride it and hold my phone, but it's not gonna be a very great video. I've got no brakes, you know, typical fashion. That's how you do it. I do have an electric start system. I may or may not install. I'm in neutral. I'll show you my converter overruns when I have a load on it. The belt rides kind of high. That's what it does when I'm riding. I need taller gearing, which means more speed and less power, which is not what I'm looking for. Let's go to forward. Well, let's go to reverse first. What I don't like about this, it'll do about 18 miles an hour in reverse. Once you pass 10 miles an hour in reverse, the steering gets so light and it's scary. Let's go to forward. Get a little wheelie action. Oh, I killed the engine. That was my turnaround. Brakes are next. That's on launch. The spins tires on launch. Even when it's dry. My chain slapping. It does have nice low end throttle. Of a normal riding mower. Yeah, I like her. But now that I know everything works, it's time to tear it apart and build it correctly. I've got to do some more structural framework. Let me shut the engine off. And I may adjust the steering stops to get a little more turn. It's basically just cut an 1/8 inch out of each side. That's gonna give me about 1 inch more of wheel turn. But my tire is already close to the frame now, so I may have to notch back my main frame a little bit, which I can go another inch in. I won't hurt the structure of the frame. So I may do that, get a little more steering throw out of it. I like to get more steering reduction. I don't like just a little bit of turn. That means the faster you go, the more sensitive the steering is. I would like to get a little more control out of the steering. Plenty of things to do. And this is temporary. I had to ride it. But she does good, man. I said I'm gonna bring in some tubes that bolt down to the frame. It's a follow up the console. It's allowed me to bolt the console because the console, they really not bolt to nothing. That I can stiffen up this and run it back and support to here. This is temporarily welded on. As you can see, the ATV is a 2008 Kawasaki KSF 90. On all these, the front suspension stiff. I do need to add some more weight to the front. By the time I add my tube into my hood, I'm only adding another 30 pounds. So I may add a winch in the front, not because I need it, but that's gonna add me an additional 20 pounds of weight. Maybe a battery up there. So under acceleration, you don't have much steering because it wants to pull the front tires off of the ground. But besides that, I'm very happy with it. Just got to pull it apart, straighten out body, put the hood on, and man, it's just gonna be nice. Also plan on building a guard over the chain and the gearbox, and I'm gonna shorten the handle, just a small handle sticking out. It's just time. I started this 2 years ago. Everything was built. It was a matter of me putting it together and putting a chain tensioner. I had everything. Everything's paid for, sitting here for 2 years. So it's good now. It's rolling. It gives me a little more motivation to get it working. Like I said, I'm not looking for more speed. I call it a racing mower. It could be a racing mower with a simple gear change. But if I go for more top end, I'm gonna have less power, which means I would need more horsepower. And fitting an 11 to 16 horse in here it's possible, but I don't need that much power. I just use this to get from the front a half a mile to the back. That's it. Thank y'all for viewing, and I'll update when I got more, but I don't expect to do more anytime soon other than the brakes and maybe that chain guard. That's gonna be my priority, and then I'll work on stiffening the frame. And likes or comments, go ahead and lay them down. Thank y'all for viewing. I appreciate y'all.